Alright, so we originally had a fountain out front here that sat on its own self-contained dish. The problem was that all of the oak leaves and the pollen would fall into it, and I was constantly having to clean it, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. So we moved it to the back, and though it looks really good, you can see that the bowl just collects stuff. So we want to move it back out front here. This is kind of the entry courtyard, and the window of the living room is right here, and it's right next to the front door. So I just think it looks a lot nicer out here. So this time we're going to use a disappearing fountain base, which just basically allows us to sink this in, and hopefully I can dig deep enough here. I think there's some concrete or something below here. But my hope is that I get it low enough that the gravel can cover the whole basin, so it looks like the water's just spilling right into the gravel. If I can't, we're going to build it up with some blocks just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Let's go. Toad. He peed all over me. I had to switch to a bandana already because that was only 1 load, and I think we're going to 3 or 4, and I'm already sweating this bad. All right, so once you've got your hole dug and prepped, you want to kind of square off all of your edges as best you can. I also leave a little bit of loose dirt at the bottom, so you've got something to kind of compact to. And once we fill it up with water for the first time too, the loose soil will kind of help it settle into the best level position possible. And if you don't have a big 6-foot level like that guy, is all you really need is just like a flat board or a straight board of some sort. Scrap wood is fine, and then a smaller level would work. But that'll allow you to put it on both sides of the large opening here and check to make sure that it's level. And just be sure to kind of turn it all 360 degrees to make sure that it's level in each direction. But yeah, now we're just gonna clean out the basin itself from the dirt I got in it from moving it in and out of the hole, and we can start filling it up. All right, since we moved this fountain to the backyard, because it was originally out front here, but since we moved it to the back, it's been mostly in the shade, so the algae growth is pretty gross in back. So we need to scrub that up before we put it in there to not mix it into our new water. These little plastic wedges or shims are super helpful if you're ever setting them up. I think you can buy a pack of them for like 10 or 15 of them or something on Amazon, but they're super thin, make it really easy to level the fountain because glazed pottery fountain is not always perfectly level on the bottom. Also, I thought I was taking the head off of this hose bib thing, but apparently I broke it. It's not going to go back on. So I gotta get it doing. We'll blame this on Jake though. He probably won't see this, right? We'll blame it on Jake. All right, now that it's turned on and running, what we've got to do is we'll use the gravel to put over the base here so it all blends in. The only trouble is we are using a fine gravel. It is what they call 5/8 inch in size. So it's gonna be small enough that it just plops right through those holes. So I've got to find something else, hopefully dark. There's a stone Mexican beach pebble, I think is what it's called. It's like a polished, smooth, and it's dark like this. So I think that's what we'll go with because they're about yay big. I think about a 1/2 inch to up to 2 inches. So that could look nice with the smaller gravel around. But yeah, next challenge. All right, so we couldn't find any larger gravel that we liked. A lot of the ones that we liked were a special order situation. So instead, what we opted for is at the hardware store, they sell these sections of screen, like for a window screen, and it's definitely gonna be small enough to hold and support the small pieces of the gravel. This piece is 36 by 84 inches, so it is gonna be just enough to cover our whole piece here. I will eventually probably need to stake this in place because it is on the drip edge. So I do worry that the water falling off the roof will kind of pull it up some. So I will probably stake this in at some point, but for now we're gonna use this, cut around the base of the fountain support there, and hope this works.
cutting yourself?
All right, and there it is, guys. It is done. I did get the Lariape out and planted back in here. We're just going to allow this to be a little denser because our container's a lot larger than the one that was in here was before. We kind of brought them all to the front here. So I think it's going to look pretty sharp. It'll allow a little bit of a splash zone for the new fountain, but most importantly, it's going to be so much less maintenance for us since it doesn't have an open surface or an open bowl that all these leaves and pollen can collect into. Remember, a little bit of loose dirt on the bottom of your basin so it can kind of level and settle as you fill it with water. And then the watering technique to kind of help take out any air bubbles along the side when you backfill around the edge. And pro tip, if you use the screen for your gravel, just make sure to have gloves on. It was super sharp and cut me really good. Other than that, if you guys like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to see the next one. And as always, a huge shout out to all of our members. Thank you guys very much.